Warning, this video is for educational purposes only and intended for viewers age 18 and older. If you're under 18, please exit now. Always comply with local laws regarding cannabis cultivation.
So she just gone.
Yeah, dude. Hey, this place looks familiar. Let's eat here.
Yeah, sure.
Ah, Chinese food for the win.
So you're telling me your ship just took off while we were eating dinner?
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. Maybe she's still pissed.
Pissed about what?
Dude, she has this federal strict code she follows. It's annoying.
Where'd you get your ship from?
Canada. They had a Black Friday special. I couldn't
See,
help
that's
it.
your first mistake right there. Get a Chinese spaceship. Their AI have less morals you have to deal with. What you do anyway?
Something about violating some stupid intergalactic law about hunting a turkey with a BB gun. It's fucking stupid. The government.
The government. Oh, don't get me started on the government. You see this galactic president's son? He gets to run around with hookers, drinking skooma, smoking a death stick, sniffing spice melange, not giving a shit.
Yeah, that sounds horrible, man.
Horrible? No, I'm jealous. Why can't they let us do the same thing? Why not? It's all a scam.
Yeah, I don't think you should be
Chinese
doing drugs,
food,
man.
Hold up, let me order, okay? Give me a sec. Alright, I like to place an order, please.
What would you like?
Yeah, I like 2 orders of garlic chicken.
And then?
And 2 orders of white rice.
And then?
That's a good idea. We gotta be healthy.
Hey, Nova, you want some soup?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, 2 orders of wonton soup.
And then?
And some fortune cookies, too.
And then?
That's it. Think that's about it.
And then?
No, that's it.
And then?
No, that's all I want. I don't want anything else.
And then?
Then nothing else. Just, I'm done ordering, okay?
And then?
No. See, all I want is 2 orders of garlic chicken and 2 orders of the white rice.
And the
And
soup,
then?
dude.
And the soup. And the wonton soup.
And then?
And the fortune cookies.
And the fortune cookies, yes. So it's just the chicken, the rice, the soup, and the fortune cookies. And that's it. That's all I want.
And then?
And then you can put it in a brown paper bag and come and put it in my hand because I'm ready to eat.
And then?
I refuse to play your Chinese food mind games.
And then?
No and then.
And then?
No, I said no and then.
And then?
I've seen this
No,
in a
and then-
movie,
and
I
then-
swear.
No and then.
And then?
And if you're trying to really piss me off, lady.
And then?
And then I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna put my blue shell up your ass. And if you say again and then... Oh, let's get ready to rumble, motherfucker.
Midnight and the plants just dance. All the flowers take their chance. Deep down a perfect stance. We watch as nature enhances. Under lights we feel the trance. Busy air flows through the tent. AC infinity's heaven sent. Revelation I won't relent. In this moment no time's been spent. Lights on, it's time to grow. Feel the rhythm as we flow. Watch it rise, the green you know. We'll get high, just let it go. Groove with me. Novacotton.
Hi, I'm Novacotton, and welcome back to Grow With Me here on YouTube. This is episode 9, and I'm excited to have you along for the journey. Today we're continuing my grow of Amethyst Frost Haze, an autoflower strain from SpeedRunSeeds. This plant is expected to finish in about 75 to 80 days, and we're currently covering days 42 through 49. She's coming along beautifully, and we're getting closer to the frosty buds I've been waiting for. Let's jump right into the weekly update and talk about her progress so far. Alright, at this stage, autoflowers are deep into their stretch phase and transitioning fully into flowering. The plant's energy is going towards extending its branches and developing bud sites, which is exactly what I've been seeing with mine. She is showing tiny signs of stress, but I don't think it's going to affect her much. Remember, we're growing buds, not leaves. A little stress here and there isn't the end of the world. As long as the plant stays healthy overall, we're good. One challenge I've had this week is managing her DLI, Daily Light Integral. With the rapid height increase, the plant gets closer to the light, which can throw off the balance. To avoid light stress, I've been lowering the DLI to about 40, just until she finishes stretching. Ideally, you want to aim for 45 during these weeks, but that's the max, so it's better to adjust as needed and pay attention to your plant's behavior. Keeping the DLI in check is key for encouraging strong, healthy buds without overwhelming a plant. Another big change I've noticed is how she's been drinking. This week she went through a massive 1.5 gallons of water in just one day, which honestly surprised me. It's a sign that the plant is really ramping up in its metabolism to support growth and bud production. If you see this kind of thirst in your plant, it's a good indicator that they're in full bloom mood and need extra support. During this phase, I recommend monitoring your plant closely and making adjustments as necessary. Stretching will slow down soon, and you'll start to see more energy directed towards bud swelling and resin production. For now, keeping light intensity, feeding schedules, and environmental conditions in check will set the stage for a successful harvest. That's the update for this week. Things are looking great, and I can't wait to see how she continues to progress.
Alright, pop quiz. During a flower cycle, which nutrient is more crucial for bud development? Is it A, nitrogen, B, phosphorus, C, calcium, D, magnesium? Think about it. The correct answer is B, phosphorus. That's right, phosphorus is vital during flowering because it supports bud formation and resin production and overall flower development. While nitrogen is key in veg, flowering plants need higher levels of phosphorus to maximize yields and quality. Got it? Awesome, let's keep going.
So now that we're going into week 8, let's talk about my recent switch from a 5-stage to a 7-stage RO water filter system. The main reason for this upgrade was the pH inconsistencies I was noticing, along with some weird flavor in the water since I also drink it. Since making a switch, I've seen a huge improvement in pH stability, which makes my feeding process so much easier. Clean and stable water is essential for both plants and people, so I'm glad I made the upgrade. Now, let's get into my bloom nutrient mixing routine. For my bloom cycle, I use CropSalt at a rate of 30 milliliters per gallon for both part A and part B. Since I'm mixing 3 gallons of water right now, I start with bloom part A. I've pre-marked my syringe to 90 milliliters, so I'll draw some concentrate, mix it into the water, and then I'll rinse the syringe. It's important to either rinse out your syringe or mix it thoroughly with a plastic spatula or mixing stick. Next, I move on to bloom part B, adding the same amount, 90 milliliters for 3 gallons. Again, I rinse my syringe always while mixing to keep everything clean and precise. Once both parts are in, it's time to measure the pH. And wow, look at that, spot on. Now the solution is ready to go into the reservoir. After pouring it in, I always check the pH one more final time to make sure it's locked in and ready for the plants. And that's it. Mixing my CropSalt bloom nutrients is straightforward and consistent, and having stable water makes the process even smoother.
Pop quiz. What is the primary purpose of reducing humidity during the late flowering stage? Is it A, to increase resin production, B, to prevent mold and bud rot, C, to speed up the drying process, or D, to make a plant absorb more nutrients? Come on guys, let's think this one good. The answer is B, to prevent mold and bud rot. During the late flowering stage, buds become dense and hold more moisture, making them prone to mold and bud rot. Keeping humidity between 40 to 50% helps protect your harvest while still supporting super broad development. Got it? Great, let's move on.
Let's talk about defoliation. As you know, I've been defoliating my autoflower once a week, and this is my 3rd round of defoliation for Amethyst Frost Haze. The goal here is simple, to ensure the plant's energy is focused on developing strong bud sides, not larvae or undeveloped ones, or unnecessary large fan leaves. A good tip for defoliation is to always take your time. You don't want to rush this process. Slow and deliberate defoliation allows you to carefully inspect the canopy and spot any areas where the lower bud sides might be able to emerge. Think of it like peeling back the layers of an onion. You're removing what you don't want and keeping the parts that are worth your effort. At the same time, you need to avoid overstressing your plant. Autoflowers are particularly sensitive, and going too hard, like lollipopping the entire plant in one go, can shock her. Nobody wants their plant looking like a shaven poodle. More importantly, overdoing it can make the plant think like it's in survival mode, causing it to rush through the flowering cycle and potentially hermaphroditing her. The key is balance. Defoliate just enough to open up the canopy for light penetration and airflow, while keeping the plant healthy and productive. Done right, this technique helps maximize your harvest and keeps your plant happy. Slow and steady wins the race with defoliation. As I mentioned earlier, this is my third defoliation of the grow, and I approach it methodically. One of the main things I focus on is clearing out the larvae sites. Those weak lower growths are unlikely to develop into solid nugs. By removing them, I'm ensuring the plant isn't wasting resources on areas that won't contribute to the final yield. Defoliation is one of those techniques that just takes practice and patience. When done right, the results are absolutely worth it. So take your time, stay precise, and let your plants reward you with bigger, better nugs.
If you're learning anything or enjoying this, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Back to the show.
Alright, let's get into some viewer questions. Today we've got a great one from Blip44, who asks about hand watering cocoa in an autopot system during the early stages of growth. First off, thanks for the support, Blip44. I'm glad you're enjoying this series. Now, let's dive into your question. At day 8, it sounds like your seedlings are right on track. So great job so far. Cocoa does retain moisture really well, especially when hydrated properly from the start. So that 4-day gap between waterings might not be as unusual as it seems. When I'm hand watering cocoa, during the early stages, I focus on keeping the medium evenly moist, not soaked. I usually water every 1 to 2 days, but it depends on your environment. Things like temperature, humidity, and airflow can influence how quickly the cocoa dries out. Since you mentioned it feels damp after 4 days, I recommend waiting until the top inch feels dry before watering again. Overwatering at this stage can actually slow root development. Now, regarding the roots, you're absolutely right that in an autopot system, you want to encourage the roots to grow deep and reach the bottom of the pot before you switch the reservoir on. That is why it's better to water less but more often during the seedling stage. This gradual approach encourages the roots to seek out moisture, promoting a strong, healthy root system that'll thrive once the autopots are fully activated. It sounds like you're doing great so far, so just remember to monitor how the cocoa feels and adjust based on your plant's needs. And don't worry too much about the timing. Every setup is a little different, so trust your process and keep observing. You got this. Alright, here's another question from William Harvey 6204, who asks, 1 to 2 milliliters per gallon, what is the percentage of H₂O₂, Nova? Good question. The hydrogen peroxide I'm using is a 3% solution, which is a standard concentration you'll find in most stores. I add 1 to 2 milliliters per gallon to my setup to help keep everything clean and prevent any biofilm and ensure that my reservoir in the humidifier stays free from any buildup. Alright, good question. Next one. Next up, we got a question from Maleficent Court 431, who's thinking about switching to CropSalt and has a great question about it. First off, you're absolutely right. CropSalt is an efficient concentrate nutrient line and it lasts longer compared to other brands like Canna. Now, let's tackle your specific questions. Do you need to run bleach in the reservoir? No, you don't have to run bleach in the reservoir, but some growers like to use it to prevent biofilm or algae to build up in their hydro systems. Personally, I don't use bleach with CropSalt because I keep my setup clean with regular maintenance by monitoring conditions. If you decide to use bleach, it's best to use small diluted amounts, only when necessary. Can you use additives like Grow Genius Silica with CropSalt? Yes, absolutely. I use Grow Genius Silica myself and it works perfectly alongside CropSalt. It's great for strengthening the plant's structure, especially during veg and early bloom. Just make sure you mix silica into your water first before adding CropSalt or any other nutrient line. The beauty of CropSalt is that it's flexible. You can customize your feed with compatible additives to suit your grow's need. If you're thinking about making a switch, I'd say go for it, and don't hesitate to experiment with what works for you and your plants. Use Novacotton at the CropSalt website and you get 10% off. And that's it for the questions. I hope that helps, guys. Alright, now it's time for something a little different, a smoke session. Yeah, today I'm dabbing on some holy hand grenade rosin. I pressed this myself and cold cured it, so it's all fresh and flavorful. It's really good. Here's the thing though, I don't really smoke rosin, so I'm definitely a noob at this. If you're watching and you're a rosin pro, feel free to laugh along because this might get interesting, hopefully. I don't die in a process. For this session, I'm using the Puffco Peak Pro with the XL 3D chamber, and to load the rosin, I've got the Puffco hot knife. Honestly, this setup makes the whole process way easier and cleaner, especially for someone like me who's still pretty new to rosin. So I'm gonna add like 2 drops of rosin in here. Holy hand grenade rosin. Using a Puffco hot knife. I gotta say, this thing is a total game changer for me. Here's how it works. You preheat the hot knife and it lets you scoop up the rosin cleanly and then just slide it in there. and into the chamber, and it makes no mess compared to using like regular metal dab. I'm gonna put this away. Alright. And see, you can hopefully see the two little blobs of rosin in there. I'm gonna heat this up, and the settings and the temperature is gonna be to 535 Fahrenheit. And I'll admit, I'm not totally sure if that's too high or not, but I'll figure I'd start there and see how it goes, right? And I'm alive, guys. Alright, so this week I was hoping to bring a guest for our episode, but plans fell through. No worries though, because FastBuds Mario swooped in to save the day. Mario's a legend in the game, known for his deep knowledge of autoflowers and some pretty next level tips on maximizing your growth. Let's hit him up so he can actually help us out. He wanted to also talk about some other stuff about fighting a power or something, I don't know.
Hey, I'm FastBuds Mario, and I'm here because Novacotton decided his viewers needed a little reality check. You know, something to slap some sense into your heads, since half of you are too stoned to remember how to water your plants, let alone grow them. So let's jump into this. Questions you pothead growers love to overthink. Yeah, alright, so what's the one thing every new grower should know? CalMag. You ever notice how people treat it like it's the holy grail of plant nutrients? If you're relying on CalMag to save your plants, guess what? Your entire nutrient plan sucks. Nutrient companies are like the guy who buys a remote control car but skips out on the batteries. Like, wow, here's a fun toy, Timmy, but sorry, no battery for you. You broke or something, fix your nutrient regimen, people. Make it so your plants don't need rescuing. Another thing a new grower should know is stop overcomplicating shit. You got folks out here with hydro setups that look like a NASA experiment, then their plants still look like sadness in a pot. Me, I keep it simple. Soy over cocoa, feed them right, and boom, they thrive. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel and just grow weed, not your ego. Next question, if you were starting over, what would you do differently? That's easy, ignore Canucks grow tips or whatever Canadian weed wizard y'all keep worshipping these days. That dude doesn't grow weed, he grows hopes and dreams. It's like maple syrup cider. Oh sure, he got a fancy camera and smooth editing, but what's behind curtain? Nothing but a dry-ass grow tent and empty promises. You ever seen 100% transparency from that guy? Nah, because good old Canucks is all frosting, no cake. Next question, what's the best tip for avoiding nutrient burn? You know what nutrient burn says? It says you're impatient and dumb. Look, if you can't read a damn feeding chart or measure your EC like a functioning adult, maybe this hobby isn't for you. Start small, dilute your newts, and for your love, follow this green. Stop doubling doses because you're in a rush. Take this slow, man. What the fuck? Alright, next one. How do you choose the best strain for you to grow? This was my favorite because people act like strain choice is rocket science. Newsflash, it's not. Grow what you'd like to smoke. Lucky entering it hype weed. Oh, everyone's growing some fancy hyped up genetic that costs more than your rent. Cool story, bro. Me, I'm sticking to something reliable that doesn't grow 3 feet taller than what I need it to be. So, come on guys, stop being noobs. Alright, what's the key to a perfect harvest and cure? Patience. That's it. You spend months growing these plants, and then what? You hack them down, throw them in a baggie, and wonder why your weed smells like wet grass. Take your time, dry them right, cure them slow, and respect the process. If you're in a rush, go buy some mids and a dispensary and stop wasting your time. Seriously, all that time just to grow some shitty-ass weed? Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Alright, what's your must-have tool or piece of equipment? A ppfd meter. But oh no, you don't want to buy one, do you? You rather guess and hope for the best, right? Meanwhile, your plants are either frying under too much light or stretching like they're trying to touch the ceiling. Get a meter, figure out your light levels, stop playing roulette with your grow, or use a photon app if you're poor. If you're willing to get an iPhone for those clout pics and for Instagram, then you should be okay with some proper equipment. Now that I mention Instagram, Instagram. The line of booty pics, fake lifestyles, and inspirational quotes stolen from Pinterest. But God forbid he posts a cannabis plant. Nope, ban hammer time. They banned High Higgins' account. They're just out here educating people about plants, but apparently that's too much for it sucks delicate platform to handle. Meanwhile, Becky's posting her ass crack next to the Herbalife protein shake, and that's fine. Selling LLM scams, cool. Posting a literal tree, criminal. Instagram, let me get this straight. You got influencers teaching toddlers how to twerk, yet growers are the bad guys. Someone's flipping through reels and you're like, this weed is too dangerous, quick, delete it. But Karen's pyramid scheme or Chad's fake crypto advice, let that thrive. Your priorities are more backwards than a Walmart self-checkout. Instagram is perfectly fine with 15-year-old girls shaking their assets to trending sounds, but the moment someone posts a healthy cannabis plant, they act like you just leaked Pentagon secrets. I swear, you'd ban a sunflower if someone claimed they got high looking at it. Your algorithm is a dumpster fire. Your community guidelines are written in crayon, and your double standards are worse than a used car salesman's promises. And don't even get me started on Linktree. Those clowns bank Linktree/Novacotton for what? Selling grow equipment. Equipment to grow plants. Plants. But meanwhile, Linktree is happily hosting OnlyFans links. Oh, you want to grow basil, block, but you show your OnlyFans model selling pictures of your left nostril for $20 a pop. You're good to go. Linktree, let me tell you something. Banging Novacotton's link for selling grow equipment is like banging a hardware store for selling shovels. Meanwhile, you're out here letting people hawk feet pics and spicy videos like it's Black Friday. Who is running your ethics department? A magic 8-ball? Here's the kicker. They claim it's all about policy compliance or illegal activity. Oh really? You're worried about plant growing equipment, but not literal escort services linked to your platform. It's like they're allergic to logic. And now let's move on to YouTube, the king of silencing creators while preaching freedom of expression. Shadow-banging cannabis channels, demonetizing everything, slapping age restrictions like Oprah handing out cars. You will get an age restriction, you will get an age restriction. Everyone gets an age restriction, but let's check the receipts. Tide Pod Challenge, monetize. How to make a flamethrower, front page. Literal animal abuse videos, trending. But a well-made video on how to grow cannabis responsibly, age-restricted faster than you can say corporate hypocrisy. Don't even get me started on the double standards, violence, sex, and other unhinged nonsense. That's perfectly fine. But cannabis, something that's legal in half the damn country, is treated like the damn boogeyman. YouTube's priorities are so screwed up, they make flat earthers look logical. Cause it isn't just about cannabis, it's about control. These platforms claim to be here to connect people, to build communities, but what they really want is obedience. You don't fit their narrative, you're out. You grow plants instead of peddling cheap clickbait, you're out. Shadow ban. You don't sell your soul to their advertisers, good luck reaching your audience. Here's the real deal, they're scared. Scared of people sharing real knowledge, building real communities, and breaking free from corporate strangleholds. They want us dumb, distracted, and dependent, and that's why they'll promote fake influencers, but shut down anyone doing something real. So what now? We need to stop giving these platforms our energy for free. Take your knowledge, your passions, and your authenticity, and find new ways to share them. They can shadow ban us, delete our links, and age restrict our videos, but they can't stop the truth from spreading. And to Instagram, Linktree, YouTube, and every other platform that decides to prioritize ass shaking and snake oil over actual education. You're not the gatekeepers of the internet, you're the chains we're about to break. Keep playing your games, but you just remember, we're the creators, you're nothing without us. And you all can eat a pile of donkey shit. Alright, peace out.
Wow, big thanks to Mario for stepping in as our guest on such a short notice. It was super cool of him to just fill in and share his unfiltered wisdom with us. Now, this is a part of the show where we say goodbye, but wait, we've got another segment coming. If you're hopping off the spaceship here though, I want to just say thank you for your support. It's been a blast interacting with you guys. Your messages, your questions, your contributions to this growing community are what make it so awesome. So before you go, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and check out my Beacons page for all my social medias, my coupon codes, and ways to support me on this dank journey. Every bit of it helps, and it's appreciated. Now, let's dive into our next segment. A documentary about light and its vital role in growing cannabis. Stick around, you don't want to miss it. And like always, keep on growing, guys. Bye.
I've always been fucking mesmerized by the freaky-ass tango between light and life. It's like a rave for plants, but instead of glow sticks, they're throwing down with photons. It's the humble photon that orchestrates the growth of plants, from the tiniest blade of grass to the most complex cannabis cultivar. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on the freaky-deaky love affair between light and plant growth, especially when it comes to growing that sweet, sticky green cannabis. At the core of plant growth is this mind-blowing shit show called photosynthesis. It's so damn fundamental that without it, we'd all be fucked. And yet it's still so complex it keeps nerds like me up at night, wondering how plants are basically little green geniuses. What's truly extraordinary is how chlorophyll absorbs light. It has a particular affinity for blue and red wavelengths, crucial for photosynthesis. This selective absorption is why leaves appear green to our eyes. They're reflecting the green light they don't use. It's a badass example of nature being a show-off, using exactly what it needs and not a single fuck more. Meanwhile, humans are over here burning toast and forgetting their car keys. Light isn't just the fuel for photosynthesis, it's the goddamn puppet master pulling the strings on plant development. Take photoperiodism, for example. Plants basically lose their shit over how much light or dark they're getting. Drama queens, am I right? Another captivating light-driven process is, phototropism, the growth of plants towards light sources. Then there's photomorphogenesis, fancy-ass word for how light decides if your plant's going to look like a sexy Instagram model or a lumpy-ass couch potato. Light's got all the power here, folks. Growers love to toss around the term photosynthetically active radiation, or PAR, which is just a fancy way of saying the plant buffet of light. It's the 400 to 700 nanometer sweet spot, where plants chow down on photons like it's an all-you-can-eat strip club buffet. But how the hell do we measure this light to make sure our plants are getting their glow on? Enter photosynthetic photon flux density, or PPFD, a fancy-ass way of counting how many photons in the PR range are hitting your plants per second. Basically, it's the photon money shot your plants need to thrive. Tag teaming with PPFD is the daily light integral, or DLI, basically the total photon booty call plants get over a 24-hour period. These numbers let growers tweak their lighting setups like mad scientists, ensuring their plants are living that VIP photon lifestyle. The world of horticultural lighting is like a freaking tech orgy. Always evolving, always pushing boundaries. Take high-pressure sodium lamps, for example. These bad boys have been the go-to for indoor growers forever, like the old-school stoner who still swears by his lava lamp. However, LEDs are crashing the party and flipping the damn table. These little bastards are revolutionizing the game, brighter, cooler and more efficient than that tired-ass sodium lamp ever dreamed of being. These marvels of modern technology offer unprecedented control over the light spectrum, allowing growers to tailor the light to specific stages of plant growth. For the cannabis grower who gives a shit about their plants, there are a few practical things to nail down. First up, light distance. It's a goddamn Goldilocks situation. Too close, your plants get fried like a stoner's late-night pizza. Too far, they're starving in the dark like emo teenagers. It's a tricky-ass balancing act. Like trying to keep your buzz at a party. Too much, and you're a mess. Too little, and you're that boring, sober guy. You've got to constantly tweak and adjust as your plants grow. or they'll let you know with a big old middle finger. Equally important is monitoring your plants for signs of light stress or deficiency. Remember, every strain's got its own diva demands when it comes to light. Some want the spotlight like a rock star, while others are cool, chilling in the shade. Careful observation and a bit of trial and error will keep those leafy bitches happy. As we wrap up this wild ride through the freaky love affair between light and cannabis, I'm just blown away by how damn elegant this whole system is. By mastering the art of light, growers can turn their plants into straight-up green gods. It's like giving your buds a VIP pass to the light show of the century. The future of cannabis cultivation is bright as hell, lit up like a stoner's dream, thanks to the badass breakthroughs in horticultural lighting. We're talking plants living their best, most glowing lives. In the grand drama of plant growth, light isn't just some background extra, it's the director, the stage, and the damn spotlight, making sure every leaf hits its mark like a green badass on Broadway. Well, that all, folks. Remember to be happy, healthy, and keep on growing.
Midnight and the plants just dance. All the flowers take their chance. Deep down the perfect stance. We watch as nature